BMW has one of the most sprawling and confusing model lineups in the entire car industry. They have no fewer than 16 core models for sale in the United States, and several of them have variants that branch off from the main tree. A host of engine types, trim packages, and powertrain configurations muddle things even further. The cherry on top is their naming scheme, which is a seemingly incoherent alphabet soup that can be a nightmare for even seasoned BMW enthusiasts. In this video, we'll make sense of everything. First, we'll go through all of their base sedans, coupes, crossovers, and SUVs. Then we'll touch on their trim packages. Lastly, we'll discuss how their naming scheme works. The 1 Series is a subcompact city car that isn't sold in the United States. At a starting price of £25,000, or just over $30,000 USD, the 1 Series competes with cars like the hatchback versions of the Audi A3 and Mercedes-Benz A-Class, as well as the Volkswagen Golf. The 2 Series is a rear-wheel drive sports coupe priced at $35,300 that is also available as a convertible. It will likely be cross-shopped with performance coupes like the Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaro, Lexus RC, and Infiniti Q60. The 2 Series has a 4-door version as well, but they aren't as similar as you may think. The 2 Series coupe is rear-wheel drive, while the Grand Coupe makes use of a front-wheel drive-based all-wheel drive system. The car shares its platform with the X1 and X2. At a price of $37,500, the 2 Series Grand Coupe scored with the Audi A3 as well as the Mercedes A-Class and CLA Class. The 2 Series line also has a line of MPVs. The 2 Series Active Tourer and Grand Tourer aren't sold in the US, but it's still worth taking a look at. The Active Tourer is a 5-seat MPV, and the Grand Tourer is its larger 7-seat version. The former runs 26,615 pounds, and the latter runs 28,510 pounds. The 3 Series is a mainstay of the compact executive segment, slotted in the same class with cars like the Audi A4, Mercedes-Benz C-Class, and an Infiniti Q50. It comes in at a price of $40,750. It differentiates itself from the 2 Series line in several ways. The 3 is a 4-door sedan, while the 2 is a 2-door coupe. Comparing it with the Grand Coupe, the 3 Series is larger. It also has a king of the headlight, a thicker C-pillar, and headlights with a clear portion. You can think of the 4 Series as the 2-door version of the 3 Series. It's due for replacement for the 2021 model year, but for now let's focus on the outgoing version. The design actually borrows heavily from the previous 3 Series. It competes with the Audi A5 and C-Class coupe. The 4 Series also has a convertible and 4-door Grand Coupe. While we're on this topic, I want to touch on something that has befuddled people since its introduction in 2013. You'll recall that I said the 4 Series was a 2-door version of the 3 Series. The 4 Series Grand Coupe is different from the 3 Series, but it isn't fair to tell them apart at a glance. Both cars look indistinguishable from the front. Our observations will be focused on the profile view. The 4 Series has a more heavily raked windshield and a roofline that sweeps back onto the rear deck further. It also has a tighter, more aggressive king of the C-pillar. The most telling sign, however, is the intake behind the front wheel. If you see it, then it's a 4. If you don't, then it's a 3. The upcoming 4 Series distinguishes itself from both the current 3 Series and the previous 4 Series with its massive front grille. You, can't miss it. The 5 Series is a mid-sized luxury sedan that does battle with the Lexus GS, Mercedes-Benz E-Class, and Genesis G80. It starts at $53,900. It's larger than the 3 Series. Both cars have similar grilles, but the 5 is split down the middle, while the 3 is a single piece. The vent behind the front wheel on the 5 is out on the 2 single, while the 3 is out on the acute angle. The main body line on the 5 goes to the door handles, while the one on the 3 sits right atop them. Lastly, the 5 has completely red taillights in the back. The 5 Series is getting a refresh for 2021. You can tell this one apart from the prior generation by the geometric DRL motif and new lower front clip designs. The base model spans the entire front of the car, while the M Sport version borrows from the M340i. The 6 Series range of coupes and convertibles that Americans might be familiar with have been killed off. There is another body style that carries the number, the Gran Turismo, but it isn't available for sale in the US. It carries a price of £44,570, or just under $55,000 USD. It sets itself apart from the other cars in the range by the way the roofline stretches back onto the raised deck lid. The 7 Series is the largest sedan in BMW's range. It competes with the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, Audi A8, Lexus LS, and other full-size luxury saloons. It comes in at a starting price of $86,800. You can tell this one apart from the smaller 5 Series in several ways. Up front, the large kidney grille extends well past the headlights. On the side, there's a chrome-lined intake that wraps around the rear of the car. Lastly, the car has a thin light bar that links the units back there. The 8 Series has made a return to their lineup as the brand's halo car. It's available as a coupe, convertible, and grand coupe. Similar cars include the Mercedes-AMG GT, Lexus LC500, and Porsche 911. The 8 Series Grand Coupe is their entrant into the premium 4-door coupe segment, which also includes a Mercedes-Benz CLS and Audi A7. The Grand Coupe costs $84,900, the 2-door costs $87,900, and the convertible runs $97,400. That's all of their sedans and coupes out of the way. At a price of $35,200, the X1 crossover is the cheapest way into a BMW. It competes with cars like the Audi A3 and Volvo XC40. The X2 is a sportier, less practical version, fighting in the same space as the X1. It's only slightly more expensive, coming in at $36,400. The X2 separates itself from the X1 with a snarking 2-piece grille, unique taillight motif, and slightly stepped roofline. The X3 is a compact luxury SUV that competes with the Mercedes-Benz GLC and Audi Q5. It's priced at $41,950. It's complemented by the X4, which competes with the aforementioned cars as well as the Mercedes GLC Coupe and the upcoming Audi Q5 Sportback. The car comes at a serious premium to the X3, at a price of $51,100. By far the biggest differentiator lies around back. The roof aggressively slopes down at the rear, much more than the X2. The X5 is a mid-sized luxury SUV that competes with the Mercedes-Benz GLE and Cadillac XT6. It has a starting price of $58,900. The infamous BMW X6 is credited or blamed for founding the widely lamented and wildly popular coupe SUV segment. It competes directly with the Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe and Audi Q8, and indirectly with the X5's challengers. Like the X3 and X4, the X6 commands a premium over the X5, coming in at $64,300. Let's start with how the X5 differs stylistically from the X3. The X5's grille is joined together by a chrome piece while the X3's kidneys are separated. The X5's window kinks forward on the way down. The lights in the X5 are influenced by the ones in the 3 Series. They're more rectangular and have a clear bit through the middle. Moving on to the X4 and X6, the former has an oblong 2-piece grille, while the latter is a bit more angular and connected by a metal bit. The X6 also has an intake that almost cuts into the front wheel well. At the rear, we can see that the X4 borrows the style from the 3 Series, while the 6 has its own set of long, thin units. The X7 is like the 7 Series of their SUVs. It's the largest, most luxurious one they produce. It competes with the Mercedes GLS, Cadillac Escalade, and Lincoln Navigator. It comes in on the starting price of $73,900. It kinda looks like the 7 Series from the front. It's the only one of their SUVs that connects the grille and headlights. It also has similar bright treatment along the side and between the taillights. Lastly, the Z4 is a sports roadster that competes with the Audi TT and Mercedes-Benz SLC. It's priced at $49,700. That covers everything in their main lineup, but BMW also carries the i sub-brand that specializes in electric vehicles. It carries 2 models for 2020, the i3 Super Mini and the i8 sports car. Don't let the i3's compact dimensions fool you. At a price of $44,450, it's priced well above cars like the Nissan Leaf, Chevrolet Bolt, and can't really compare to the Tesla Model 3. The i8 competes with the Lexus LC500H, Acura NSX, Polestar 1, and other high-performance alternative fuel coupes. They start at $147,000 new. Many of their models also have special M Sport trims as well. These up the power and add reworked front and rear clips. These split the difference between the core models and the top-of-the-line M versions. Currently, the 2, 4, 5, 8, X3, X5, and X6 all have M versions. The current 3 Series doesn't have one on sale, but the M3 will debut in September along with a completely new M4. The M2 is also a curious case. Typically, a car will have an M variant and a more focused competition version alongside it, but this isn't the case here. The M2 competition outright replaced the M2, so if you want a new one from the dealership, then it has to be a competition. M models emphasize their sporting character with aggressive body kits, and the competition line darkens the brightwork in every model. BMW appears to have one of the most confusing naming schemes out there. The jumble of letters and numbers seem to be thrown around with no regard for logic or clarity, though there is a method to the madness. There is a reason why so many other companies hopped on the alphanumeric name trend over the years. You can convey a lot of information about a particular car from just a model name. Let's take a look at the format. First comes the model designation, then the engine displacement, then any additional information about the engine. The letter meaning goes as follows. I indicates a fuel-injected gasoline engine. D means diesel. BMW doesn't currently offer any diesel models in the United States. E actually indicates a hybrid setup. Cars with this designation make use of both gas and electric motors. X-Drive means all-wheel drive. A capital L indicates a long wheelbase model. Again, this designation isn't around in the US. Let's apply this to something historic first. The format was introduced with the E205 series back in 1972. 528i tells us it's a 5 series with a 2.8 liter engine. The I at the end signifies fuel injection. This should hold true nowadays, right? Let's look at the 330i X-Drive. It's a 3 series with a fuel-injected 3-liter engine and all-wheel drive, right? Not quite. This model is actually equipped with a 2-liter engine. It should be 320i X-Drive. This inconsistency is present throughout their entire lineup. The 740i has a 3-liter engine. The 230i X-Drive has a 2-liter engine. It does have a shred of continuity though. Cars that end in 28 and 30 have a 2-liter engine. 40 indicates a 3-liter engine. 50 indicates a 4.4-liter engine. 60 tells us that the car has a 6.6-liter engine. If the cars have the mid-level M Sport trim equipped, then an M is placed before the rest of the name. M5 of the I tells us that it's a performance-oriented 5 series with a 4.4-liter engine and all-wheel drive. True M cars will never have any kind of designation after the first part. It will be M4, M5, M8, and so on. The SUVs will put the model designation before the M, but again nothing else follows. The standard convention for their SUVs throws us a curveball. It's model, then the powertrain, then engine designation. So the X4 X-Drive 30i is an all-wheel drive X4 with a 2-liter engine. A miniature X5 with a 4.4-liter engine would be the X5 M50i. A few models, such as the 8 Series and X5, can carry the S-Drive designation as well. Don't fret too much about this. It simply means that the car is powered by 2 wheels instead of 4. BMW has a ton of models in their range, and a dense yet somewhat coherent naming scheme. Hopefully this guide has made navigating their lineup that much easier. If this video was helpful at all, then consider liking the video and subscribing. If you have any other companies that you want me to talk about, then please let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.